Hello everyone, welcome to Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. I'm here to solve an extra region Sudoku taken from the recently concluded Sudoku Mahabharat Round 1 2023. This was authored by Kumar, Hemant and Arun Iyer. I found the contest very tough, but the Sudokus were excellent. This extra region Sudoku was the highest pointer in the contest and created difficulty for many solvers. During the contest, as far as my solve is concerned, it was packed with pencil marks and I took about 13 minutes to complete this Sudoku. But post-contest, I realized that this Sudoku has a wonderful solve path, one which does not involve extensive pencil marking, but just observing some really interesting facts about this Sudoku. On the face of that, this logic might seem easy to observe, but this was something which I totally missed during the contest because these things one can tend to miss if you're solving a lot of Sudokus together. It can be easy to miss these things. So I'm going to show you the intended solve path of the author. The link to solve this is in the description of the video. And if you haven't yet given the contest, you can still take the contest offline mode. Just download the Sudokus and you can print them and solve it, or you can just solve online. There is also online option to solve them. So without much further ado, let's jump into the Sudoku. The rules are simple. It's just classic rules. In addition to that, you also have the extra region component. So let's just let me just explain the rules. Just a moment. Okay. Each row, each column, and 3x3 box in the grid has digits 1 to 9 without any repetitions. These are just classic rules. And apart from that, all these gray shaded regions that you can see in the grid also have digits 1 to 9 without repetitions. There are exactly 4 shaded groups that you see in this grid, and each of these shaded groups have exactly 9 cells between them. So all these 9 cells will have digits 1 to 9 without any repetition. So these are the rules, and with that we'll start the Sudoku. So the first and foremost thing I'm going to show in the Sudoku is something which I missed blatantly. But when you see this Sudoku and think a little bit about it, it's not so difficult to see it. But I don't know why I missed that, but I completely missed this part and I somehow solved the Sudoku. So the thing that I missed, and which I don't think many of the solvers would have missed, is this one. Let me show you that. For that, let me go to surface mode. Okay. If you look at rows 2, 3 and 4, right? Rows 2, 3, 4. There are exactly, 2 regions completely encompassed into those 3 rows. So some of you might already got the clue of where I'm getting at. These 3 rows have exactly 3 sets of digits from 1 to 9. Now, these 2 regions have 2 sets of digits from 1 to 9. Which means that the remaining white cells must also take digits from 1 to 9 to keep the balance. So what I'm basically saying is that all these green cells will take the digits 1 to 9, right? So simple to see, but this was something which I completely missed during the solve, and one which made me take a lot of time. If I had seen this, I would surely have completed the Sudoku in a little less than maybe 8 or 9 minutes instead of the 13 minutes that I took. I could have easily shaved off half the time. Now similarly, if you look at rows 6, 7 and 8, there are 3 sets of digits 1 to 9 in those rows, and these 2 regions take 2 of the sets of 1 to 9, which means the remaining cells, namely these, must also take 1 to 9. What a pretty and beautiful observation. Many would have seen this. This is not at all hard to see, but for some reason I completely missed this part. So this would have been seen by many solvers, but in case you have not seen, please stay tuned until the end of the video and look how the Sudoku proceeds after that. This has a brilliant solve path. Now let's make use of this logic that we have obtained here. look at this 5 guy. It is seeing all these 5 cells, and it is also this 5 is also seeing these 2 cells, which means in the green region there's only 1 cell left for the 5. 5 has to go here. And similarly in the red region, 5s don't go here, 5 doesn't go here, so 5 has to go here. And now let me play around with the 5s. 5 in column 9 goes here, 5 in column 1 goes here, 5 in row 8 goes here, and 5 in row 2 goes here. So we have got all the 5s. That is really beautiful. Okay, so I don't think we can decipher the 5s as yet, but let's look at something else. Look at this 8. It cannot be in these 3 cells because of this 8. It cannot be in these 4 cells, and it cannot be in this cell, which means this region has exactly 1 cell left to take the 8, and that has to be this one, because all these cells are seen by 8s and cannot be 8s, which means this has to be 8, and that forces the 5. 5 goes here, which means 5 cannot be here, so 5 goes here, 5 goes here, and 5 is in the same region, so 5 is not here, so 5 goes here, and we have got all the 5s in the grid. Fine. Now let's take a look at the 8s, because we just got an 8. So 8 in column 8 goes into these 2 cells, and it cannot be here, because if it is here, this region doesn't take any 8. So 8 is not here, right? So 8 has to be here. Okay. And 8 is not in these 2 cells, 8 is not here, so 8 has 3 options, these 3 cells, and 8 is not in these 3 cells, so 8 has to be in these 3 cells. Okay. Any more thing we can do with the 8s? Okay, where does the 8 go in this gray region? So 8 is not here, 8 is not here, 8 is not here, so 8 goes here, and which means in row 6 8 is forced into these 2 cells. 8 cannot be here obviously, and because the red region also takes 1 to 9, when you have 8s here, this cell cannot be 8 and this cell cannot be 8. So 8 is in one of these 2 cells, 8 is in one of these 2 cells, and 8 is in one of these 2 cells. Fine. So let's go to the next digit now. Maybe 4s. 4 is forced here. And if you look at this region and ask yourself, where does the 4 go? 4 is not here, 4 is not here, 4 is not here. So 4 is forced here. And 4 is not here, which means because of this pointing pair of 4, so 4 goes in these 3 cells. Okay, and now look at row 6 and ask yourself, where does the 4 go? 4 is not in here, 4 cannot be in the red cells because of this 4, so 4 is forced here. Okay, so which means in row 4, these 4s give me a 4 here, and that eliminates 4 from this area. So 4 is in one of these 2 cells. And now look at box 2. Where does the 4 go? 4 cannot be here, and 4 is already here, so 4 cannot be here, which means there are just these 2 cells for the 4. Fantastic. So we have got 2 possibilities for 4 in every box, and I don't think you can decipher it now unless you get one more digit in one of the places of 4. So let's continue with our solve. So you can see that it has a really crystal clear solve path, one which does not involve extensive pencil marking like I did. As you can see, so far I've did only corner marking, and it's just so gorgeous, guys, the solve path. I wish I had solved like this. If you had seen my solve path, it would be like, what the hell was I doing during my contest? But anyway, this is the most elegant solve path. I'm just going to show it to you further. Let's go to a different digit now, maybe 9s. So 9 in row 7, row 9. So 9 goes in one of these 2 cells. and which means this gray region already has a 9, so 9s cannot be here, and the red region also has a 9, so 9 cannot be here, and 9 cannot be here. So which means in row 6 there is only one possibility for the 9, which is here, and that forces 9 in here. And now 9 cannot be here because this gray region already has a 9. 9 cannot be here because of this, so 9 is in these 3 cells, which means my 9 in column 4 has to be in these 2 cells, right? Okay. So what do we do now? 3s maybe. And I don't think we can play around with the 9s further because 9 has 3 options here and many options here. So let's go to the next digit. If you look at 3s, 3 is forced into these 3 cells, which means 3 cannot be here. And 3 is already in the green region, so 3 is not here. 3 cannot be here due to Sudoku, so 3 is forced into these 2 cells. Now these 2 cells have a 3-8 pair, right? We already made a pencil marking of 8 here, which means I'm going to replace them and make them center. This is 3-8. Now let's see if we can play around with the 3s further. Bottom 3 boxes do not have any information about 3s, so let's just move on. 7 is not here, so 7 is in one of these 2 cells, and that gives 7 in one of these 2 cells using classic. Okay. 7 is not here, 7 is not here, so 7 goes in one of these 2 cells. I'm just using basic classic stuff here, nothing, just basic classic stuff. Okay. Now let's take a look at, maybe row 1. You have 1, 3, 8 and 2, 5, 6. So we need 4, 7, 9 in these 3 cells. But if you look at this cell carefully, there is a 9 already here and 4 is also marked here because this extra region needs to take a 4 and 4 cannot be here, 4 cannot be here, 4 cannot be here. So 4 goes here, which means this cell cannot be 4 or 9. It has to be a 7. And that gives a 4-9 pair, these 2 cells. Very nice. So let's see. Okay, now this region has become completely packed. Maybe it's time to write all the digits, but let's not do that. So these 4 digits must be 2, 4, 6 and 9. And now if you notice this gray region carefully, we have 7 digits already inside and the left out digits are 1 and 7. This becomes a 1-7 pair. So this is 1-6 for this box. Okay, let's try to see some other digit. The moment you realize that you're stuck, just keep on shifting to digits. So you have a 2 here, 2 is not here, 2 is not here, and 2 is also not here. So this gray guy has to have 2 in this domino. 2 has to go here. And now which means in this gray region, you don't have 2s here, you don't have 2s here, you don't have 2s here. So 2 goes here. Excellent. And that forces 2 in this box. 2 goes here, which forces 9 here, and this becomes a 4-6 pair. Beautiful, right? Gorgeous Sudoku, guys. And now look at column 1. So we need 3, 6, 8. This is not 8. You have 8 here. And these 2 cells also take a 6, right? For the column, 6 must be in these 2 cells. Okay, look at this cell. You have 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 already there and 2 and 3 in here. So this is 1 or a 7. Okay. What do we have next? These 2 cells must be 4, 6 and 9. And green already contains a 4, which means this is not a 4. and 9 is in here, so this is not a 9, that's 4 6. What do I do next? Let me take a look at maybe row 9. I have 2 6 9 4 5 7, so I need 1 3 and 8. This is not 8, so this is 1 and 3, this is 1 3 8, and this is 1 3 8. I have a 2 here. Okay, that's fine. So which means in row 4 I can't have 2s here, I can't have 2 here, so 2 goes in one of these 2 cells. Okay, so which means this red region can't have 2s here, so it has to have 2 in one of these 3 cells. That's not much. Can I do something with the 7s? 7 is okay, yes. So look at this gray region. Where does the 7 go? We already have a corner pencil mark of 7 here. 7 is not here, 7 is not here, 7 is not here. So just one cell left for the 7. 7 has to go here, that becomes 2. And that forces 2 in this domino. 2 goes here, which forces 4 in here. And that forces 4 into these 2 cells. We have made a corner right at the start. That 4 has to be in one of these 2 cells, which means yeah, I was just trying to remember how I wrote these 2. That was because I'm not able to remember now, but anyway, it's easy to see though. Column 7, column 9, 4 must be in one of these 2 cells, and the green guy cannot take a 4 because I have made a marking of 4 here. So that's a 4, that's a 9, that's a 6, that's a 4, and now I have 7 here, so that's a 7, that's a 1. Row 2 can be completed, 3 goes here, this will be a 1 and a 9. Okay, so where does the 6 go in this gray region? 6 has to be here. That is a 1 and a 9. 2 6 and 7 4 5 and 8. Okay, so these 2 cells will be 1 3 9, and I can't have 9 here because I have a 9 in one of these 2 cells. That's 1 3. Okay, I have 1 in the green region, so this is not a 1. That's 9, that's 1, and which means this is 9. This will be 1 or a 3, and 9 is here, so that is forcing the 9 into this cell, which means this will be 7. So this is 1 and 3. So the last 3 columns are completely done almost. So look at this gray guy. I have 2 4 7 8 9 1 3 and 5. So the only cell left is this, and it has to take a 6. 6 goes here, and which gives a 6 here. So that's a 3 8 pair. This, I mean. Okay, so now that I have a 6 here, so this cannot be a 6 anymore because this is part of the same region. That forces 6 in box 4. Only one cell left. 6 goes here. So this will be a 1 7 pair for the box. And now the 6 in column 3 is forced here, which forces 4 here, and that forces 4 here. 4 can be forced now in row 4. 4 is forced here, 2 is forced here, and 9 is forced here. This will be 1 or a 7 for the row, and you have 1 in the green region, so this is 7, this is 1, this is 7. Okay, so this will be 1 or a 3 for the row. And look at column 6, so this is also 1 3. Now look at row 6, this will be a 6 8 pair. Gorgeous creation, guys. Hats off to Hemant for creating such a wonderful Sudoku. This is 6, so you have a 6 8 pair. So if you want to have some fun with this Sudoku and understand the kind of impact I went through by solving without understanding the green and the red part. Try solving it. It was really tough, but I finished it in 13 minutes without using this thing. If I had used this, I would have surely, like I said, shaved off at least 6 to 7 minutes from my solve. But there's no complaints because I got to learn this post contest. Look at column 5. This is not a 1 or 8. This is 3. So this is 1. This is 3. This is 1. This is 3. This is 1. This is 3. And row 9 can be completed. This is 8. That resolves that. 8 and 3. That's a 3. Now we need 1 and a 2. Okay, look at this column. This must be a 2 and a 7, and this must be a 2, 3, 4, 7, 1 and 8. And that can be easily resolved. 8 is here, so that's 1, that's 2, that's 8. 2 here gives a 2 here and a 7 here. And now if you see all the red cells, they are clearly taking digits from 1 to 9. And similarly, the green cells also take the digits from 1 to 9. So you can see that this was the intended way to solve the Sudoku. And it starts by observing that these two extra regions are completely encompassed within 3 rows, and which means whichever cell is left out has to be part of the third region, and that also takes digits 1 to 9. So this is the thing that you needed to realize in the Sudoku and solve it. And I'm sure 90 to 95% of the solvers would have seen this, and I am the 10% who didn't see this and got to suffer as a result. So do let me know your comments in the videos. We'll be happy to know. Thanks for watching, and thanks to Hemant for creating such a wonderful Sudoku for the contest. See you soon. Bye-bye.